tonight. There are some things that's hard to believe, nevertheless, they are true. To ask a question before I get into the story tonight, as reported in the Washington Post. Why would you spend the majority of your life being educated, going to school, you graduate, you run for an elective office, and then you succumb to bribery? Are you serious? Like you didn't have anything better to do but to succumb to bribery. Trayvon Bowman Live, I cover stories just as they are reported. I don't make up the news. I analyze it. I add my personal commentary to it. It doesn't matter who you are, what political party or affiliation you belong to, what your color is. If you're right, I'll applaud you. If you're wrong, I have to talk about it. Black politicians, listen up. You cannot do the things that white politicians do and expect to get away with it. You don't have those type of connections. You don't have that clout, and they're not going to make an exception for you. As a matter of fact, they're going to make an example out of you. So let's get down to the essence of the story right here, as reported by the Washington Post. Trayvon White is facing a bribery charge while he is being sworn in his third term and apologized to the District of Columbia. I may have to go back and alter that headline a bit. So let's get into it. As reported at 4:28 p.m., D.C. Council member Trayvon White Sr., a Democrat from Ward 8, he is under indictment for bribery, issued an apology moments after he was sworn into office for a third term, though without saying why. White was among 6 lawmakers sworn into office at the Walter E. Washington Convention Center ceremony Thursday morning, after he raised his right hand and swore to uphold the laws of D.C. and the United States, and after tepid applause from the audience. White addressed the crowd, calling the moment, quote, bittersweet, close quote. Council member Janice Lewis George, a Democrat from Ward 4, who last month joined all lawmakers in voting to recommend White's expulsion from the Council for Ethics Violations, administered the oath of office to him. This morning, I want to say that I apologize to my city, said White, who has pleaded not guilty to the federal bribery charge. And I love my city to the core of who I am. I'm not a perfect man, but if you get to know me, you know that I'm a good man. Leaving the stage after, I agree, justice for Robert Brooks. Stay tuned, I'll be covering that up next. Leaving the stage after the ceremony ended, White did not respond to reporters who asked him to be specific about what he was apologizing for. So here is a photo of the councilman. Well, the best way to deal with a story, just tell the facts. Stop being evasive. Get down to the essence of it before your enemies have the opportunity to destroy you. What is the big issue here? What is the bribery charge? A lot of people think they're like the other guy, that they can just do what they want to do and they're going to be elected to office no matter what. So if it's a problem, if it's a bribe, if you're denying the accusations that are against you, you councilman, then categorically state what the charge or charges are. Don't hide behind reporters. Don't hide behind your staff. Don't hide behind the Constitution. Just state what it is. And if you don't want to state it, speak through your advocate. Speak through your attorney. Let your attorney address it then. But don't, whatever you do, Mr. White, don't be a coward. People are counting on you to be forthright. Why? Because they elected you as their councilmen. And you owe it to the constituency that you serve to open your mouth Speak candidly, deny any and all accusations against you, and keep it moving. It was the closest thing that White has come to publicly suggesting that he has done anything requiring an apology since he was arrested by the FBI in August. He is accused of accepting more than $30,000 in cash bribes and agreeing to accept more than $140,000 in kickbacks in exchange for his promise to try to influence government contracts. All this is alleged. In brief remarks last month, White said an investigation launched by the council found no clear evidence that he tried to bribe anyone, although White is not accused of offering bribes, and called on lawmakers to respect the will of Ward 8 voters who reelected him to a third term in November. Do you think you're any better than some of the other politicians that are out there? I say not. You think you get a pass because you're black? I say not. Deal with it up front. White said Thursday that he was committed to bettering myself and bettering the community. I'm grateful, humble, and emotional about being reelected today because I know that I have a duty and a responsibility to advocate, to make legislation, and to make sure equity is on the front line for our residents east of the Anacostia River, he said. How many of you all remember the great the great mayor of Washington, the late Marion Barry? Remember? Who had resigned from office because of all the accusations that he faced, went to rehab, got himself together. He came back, got reelected as a congressman, and then he became mayor again. It's unclear how long White may have left on the council. Lawmakers voted 11-0 to recommend his expulsion last month on the grounds of ethics violations stemming from the bribery case. He will be allowed to present a defense at a January 28 hearing before a formal vote on whether to expel him, which would be an extraordinary step and a first in the half-century history of home rule. Let me tell you something. I'll see how this is going to end. It's not going to end well. They're going to vote to expel him. And in light of what's coming into Washington, you can believe they're not going to give him a pass. So this is let's see. No, I ain't going to post that. Let's get back to the article. D.C. Mayor Muriel E. Bowser, Democrat, started off this morning with an optimistic address 10 years ago to the day since she was first sworn in as mayor. A lot has happened over the past 10 years, and I am most proud today that I can stand here and say that the story of Washington, D.C. right now is a good one. In fact, it's a great one, the mayor said. She ticked off a number of recent bright spots, including that the U.S. Census Bureau recently recorded D.C. population has once again climbed to more than 700,000 residents, and that the city ended 2024 with a significant reduction in crime. Habla Espanol to you too. More is on the way in 2025, she said. In a few months, the city will open the first new full-service hospital in some 2 decades. The Cedar Hill Regional Medical Center in Ward 8, and as a result of recent congressional action, we finally have control of our destiny at the RFK campus with 170 acres of beautiful land on the Anacostia. Felder, too, said after he was sworn in that he hoped the RFK land on the banks of the Anacostia River in his ward would be redeveloped in a manner that makes the Ward 7 the envy of the region. Felder has not staked a position on what should be built there or whether taxpayer money should go toward a possible football stadium. With jubilant supporters in the crowd, Felder pledged to bring Ward 7 unapologetic leadership as he preferred, to fill the shoes of Vincent C. Gray, the former mayor, and Ward 7 council member who did not seek re-election due to health issues. He said he would work to improve health care outcomes, create more opportunities for small business owners, help seniors, advocate to put Interstate 295 underground, and invest in commercial corridors to create a thriving Ward 7 downtown. Our ward is filled with promise, brimming with potential and ready to raise to every new challenge, he said. Other lawmakers recommended to focusing on improving education, making streets safer and cleaner, and addressing the city's affordable housing crisis. Robert White said government leaders need to be rowing in the same direction. When we embrace this spirit, we stop going in circles and start building affordable housing, vocational education, and job training for today's economy, the stepping stones to a safe and stable city. All that sounds great. But bruh, you're under indictment. And you're about to be expelled. And they ain't trying to hear all that blah, 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 yada, yada, yada stuff. You have an uphill battle, Councilman White. Deal with it head on before it deals with you head on. Louis George took the oath with her family and newborn baby by her side, saying that the birth of her son Pierce raised the stakes for her as a public servant even higher, and that she would think of his future as she pushed for funding for early childhood educators and DC public school teachers, among other things. All right, I'll keep you developed on this story as it unfolds. Never surrender, never quit.